So this week I watched the movie Divergent. And some facts about Divergent. The director of the film is Neil Berger. And it was released in 2014. And the main actors and actresses of the film were Shailene Woodley, Theo James, Kate Winslet, Ansel Elgort, and Miles Teller. Now a brief synopsis of the film is it was set in a dystopian future where people are divided into 5 different factions based on their personality traits, and these included abnegation, which was selfless, amity, which was peaceful, candor, which was honest, dauntless, which was brave, and erudite, which was intelligent. And the main actress of the film, her name was Triss, and the film was basically set around her. But to get into your 5 different faction, it was this whole ceremony where you cut the palm of your hand and you put the blood into the pot that you wanted to go into. So there were 5 different pots for the 5 different factions. And actually Triss's parents were abnegation, which was the selfless group. So they kind of expected her to go into that faction, and they kind of like a family, okay, so we do this, so you're gonna go into it. And at the ceremony, Triss actually put her blood into the Divergent group, which was kind of the reckless group. They did a bunch of tricks off of planes, not planes, jumped off of trains, things like that. They were kind of the people that went to war, I guess, or protected the environment. And through this, as a dauntless, she finds out that the leader of the erudite knows things that other people don't, and it threatens to ruin their dystopian city. So one of the things I actually really liked about the film, I thought it was super interesting how they filmed Divergent. When I watched this for the first time in middle school, I definitely wanted to be a Divergent, like a dauntless, because they filmed the action shots I think were super interesting and fun to watch, because they would jump off of the trains. You would have to the dauntless would have to catch this train, and if you didn't catch it, you weren't a dauntless, they would kick you off basically. And then at some point they literally jumped off a roof and into a dark circle, you can't see the bottom, but there was a net that catched you, but you had to be the one to jump. And Triss was super didn't want to do it at first, and was nervous, but then ended up jumping and she was fine. So I just liked the action part of it, and I think the film did a really good job on filming that and creating a storyline around the dauntless. And even in that, I think it was cool how they created kind of a love story out of it. Triss fell for Theo, his name is Theo, in the film, but actor name is Theo. In the movie, his name is Four, and he's the big guy on campus on the Divergent team. So they fall together, and I think that was really interesting to watch as well. Not only because we got to watch something about a dystopian future, but also the love story, which made it complicated. And then one thing I could critique, I think the beginning was awesome to watch. It was slow, and we really got a feel for the dystopian future and what the movie was going to be set around. But then at the end, I think they had too much to tell, and I feel they could have split it into 2. At the end, I felt the film was more rushed, and I feel the climax was really well predicted, and I like movies that you can't really tell what's going to happen, and then it will hit the fan and whatever. But with Divergent, I feel you could kind of tell what was going to happen and when it was going to happen. So I felt the end was very rushed. And even with Triss and Four, which were the couple of the movie, I feel it was forced. Their relationship was forced at the end. I don't know. It just at the very end, the first half of the movie is great, and then the second half I feel they just rush things. So I feel they could have just slowed it down a little bit, but I think that was my only thing to critique, because other than that, I think the lighting, the camera movements all were amazing, and made the movie and film really interesting to watch. And I do think that is one of the, like, that was definitely one of my favorite movies as a kid for sure. So like it was cool to like go back now and like rewatch it and like get to respond to it. But other than that, I think the movie was good and they just rushed it at the end. But so far I loved watching Divergent this week.